we're going to be better offensively this year. We had some. I'm really proud of what we got accomplished last year. I mean, I really am. I mean, we still did a lot of good things, and it was a week to week type of deal in some cases. We had some consistency from some guys, but it was we're trying to figure out running back. Guys getting hurt. We got guys like Gallman that, as I said, I think by the end of the year we're going to really like this guy, and that's kind of what happened. Well, early part of the year we're going to play him. He's a couple protection things, but that's just what you deal with when you've got freshmen that really hadn't played. They got to go learn, and so you dealt with that at running back. Adam Choice, he gets hurt. Tyshawn's not quite back. Zach Brooks, the guy that would have been the starter going into it, he gets hurt right before the Georgia game. So there's just a lot of dynamics. Same thing at tight end, obviously in the offensive line. So all in all, we did a lot of good things. And then, the injury with Deshaun. But we definitely have the personnel. We've recruited very well. Artavis this time last year was just a guy we hoped would be a good player. He's kind of been there and done that now. We were hoping we'd get a little something out of G-Hop. He had his best year. Can he kind of take it to another level this year from a consistency standpoint and a daily commitment? He didn't even have spring ball last year. I didn't even let him go through spring. So, hopefully he'll have his best off season. And it's just it was a little bit of everything. So I'm proud of what we got done. The personnel is definitely here to be better. A healthy Deshaun Watson is gonna be a big factor in that. I think the improvement in the offensive line, the little added experience at receiver now, getting Sharon Peak back healthy, another big kind of loss for us last year in the middle part of the year. So there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle that are here. We just kind of got to put it all together. And then when you look at our red zone issues, again, I mean, it only takes about 4 or 5 of those things to drastically, I think we were 78%, and it only takes 4 or 5 of those things, and you're right there, toward the top of the country. That's one of the things I was talking to David Shaw about a week or so ago, and a couple years, they were number 1 in the country. They've been a great red zone team a long time, and they were terrible this year. And he and I were talking about it because, they had just studied it as well, and he was so frustrated. And he's like, but when you go back through it and you start looking at it, and you go, okay. All right, there's nothing wrong with this call. I mean, we're not quite as good personnel-wise right here maybe this year as we were last year. We got to get better there, or maybe it's, maybe we're not quite as good at quarterback or whatever. You miss a couple of kicks, you have a couple of turnovers, and that gets skewed quickly. So I think you got to, as you evaluate it, say, okay, what's correctable? We had a couple of huge turnovers in the red zone. We had this couple snaps. Those are things that just can't happen. And we a couple of times where we got whipped. It wasn't necessarily a bad call. We just got whipped. Their guy was better than our guy. A couple of situations where we made a bad call. So it's all collectively together trying to minimize that. But over the course of the season, 4 or 5 of them, it'll affect your percentage, and you can go from 50-60 to 15-20 like that when with so few opportunities.
Because Deshaun will be coming off of ACL rehab, he had 3 injury issues last year. Will you have any observations about putting him in those short yardage positions the way that Boyd was put in so often?
No, we run zone read. That's what we do. That's why he came here. He's you don't play the game in fear. And you start playing this game in fear. I mean, Deshaun Watson got hurt. Nobody touched him. I mean, he didn't get touched. He just planted and cut on air and tore his ACL. So you can't play that way. I mean, we're going to get the ball to the. Hopefully, we have a complete surrounding cast around him, which makes everything better. But if you're going to be a zone read type of offense and your quarterback's not going to be a factor, well, it's not going to work. If you're going to run the triple option like Georgia Tech, the quarterback's not going to run the ball, then you're not going to be very effective. So that's what we do, and that's why we recruited Deshaun. That's why he came here, is to have the opportunity to impact the game. with his feet and his arm, and he'll certainly continue to do that. We've never had a problem with quarterbacks being healthy. That's the first time I've ever lost a quarterback since I've been the head coach, was this year. Kyle Parker never missed a game. Taj Boyd never missed a game. Just kind of one of those years. Fluky thing with a broken finger. If it had been on the left hand, he'd have never missed a game. But it just happened to be on the pinky or the pointer finger. So that's just you have years like that. But no, we don't play or coach in fear. We play to win, and whatever we got to do that gives us the best chance to win, whether if it's to run the quarterback 50 times, or throw it 50 times, or hand the ball off 50 times, whatever we think gives us the best chance to win, that's what we're going to do, because that's our focus is winning the ball game. But I think that we will have a very balanced cast of characters next year that's going to really help us. And then Deshaun has to be smart. He's got to be smart and take care of himself. And but physically, he's never had a problem staying on the field, and I don't anticipate that throughout his career here. Well, we got two guys that don't know left from right. Literally, they're driving the machine, so we can only go at their pace. So when you talk about starting over, you're starting over, and we have a ton of work to do with Tucker and Kelly, in particular. Nick's got to take another step as far as his command, leadership, precision in this offense. He knows it, but he's got to take that next step, leadership, all of that, and I think he will. We're going to really push him this spring because we need Nick to really assert himself more, and his role's different too. It's the first time. This time last spring, it was Chad and Cole and Sean was just getting here, and now Nick's a factor for us. So it's a little different sense of urgency with him, and we need him to take another step for us, and hopefully he'll rise up to the occasion and take advantage of the opportunity he has this spring. And then even though Deshaun's not out there, everybody respects Deshaun, but we still need him to lead, and he can do that, and so we need that from him this spring. In that quarterback room, on the practice field, in the dining hall, in the locker room, that can't just stop, and let's pick that back up in the summer. But it's going to be a huge spring for Kelly and Tucker. We got a lot to do with them. I'm excited about Brandon and watching him get off to a good start as far as bowl practice, but he's not coach. He hasn't coached Tucker. He hasn't coached Kelly. So it's literally, we've got 15 days and. All I know is that they're both really talented young players that have some similarities, but a lot of differences too. And we got to get one of them or both of them ready to play. And as you go into spring, we got to get them both ready to play. We have no idea what's going to happen between now and fall camp. You just look around the country. Ohio State, played their third-team guy and won the national championship. So we've got to get all four of our guys ready to win the league for us. That's our ultimate goal, and it starts this spring. But hopefully they'll. Deshaun kind of got off to a slow start last spring, and boy, really came on at the end of the spring. Missed the last couple of days there with his collarbone thing, but really, okay, boy, he started to get it, and then he took that into the summer. Came back, 20 pounds heavier and things like that when fall camp started, and just a different guy mentally. And so will Kelly and Tucker, will they make that same progression? We'll see. Will they work like Deshaun did? Will they respond? But they're certainly going to get a ton of opportunity, and we need both those guys to rise up.